Hey guys, I just filmed my full face foundation look. If you want to stay tuned and watch that, just keep on watching. I left out eyebrows, eyeshadow, and that sort of thing, lips and that sort of thing. It's just the face. But yeah, just stay tuned and keep watching if you want to see how I do my full face foundation routine. I'm in the shower. I just put on a few treatments that I usually put on my skin. One of them is going to actually be in my favorites this month, so we'll talk about that a bit later. But first, I always moisturize with something Vaseline, an EOS lip balm, a Burt's Bees little lip balm, something just to moisturize. And I usually do this for like 15 minutes. I'm just kidding. But I do get carried away because it just feels so smooth that I usually do it for like way too long. But I won't do that for you because that's just going to be awkward to watch me do that. I have loved the Revlon primer. I'm kind of just using up all the little other primers that I had before I try a different one, just because I don't see the point in having like 3 and 4 different primers. But this is a little one, and surprisingly it lasts a long time. This Makeup Forever HD one. And normally I don't like using HD anything because I don't want flashback in photos and that sort of thing. But then again, I don't use a flash a lot of the times because most of my photography has been taken in the daytime. So I'm going to apply a couple squirts of that all over the face, mostly to the T-zone, but and then I usually let that kind of sink in for a little bit while I'm deciding on what foundation I'm going to use. So a really great foundation is this Revlon Color Stay Whipped foundation, which I've used a ton. I haven't actually used that in a little while, but it's great. It's full coverage, and this is the full coverage, full face foundation video. So that would be a great one to use, and it's more affordable. But recently I got this MAC Studio Fix fluid, yes, and it has SPF of 15, and this one I got in NC25, so I am going to use this one, and I'm going to use the F80 Sigma Flat Kabuki. So I find this does a pretty good job of concealing any blemishes and that sort of thing that I had. Like on my cheeks over here I had a few, and under here I had a new breakout, a few little scars from acne and that sort of thing, but again the product I've been using has been kind of targeting pigmentation and age spots and that sort of thing, so that's been actually working pretty good. But right now is when I would go in with a concealer, so I'm just going to use it just for the purposes of showing you guys what I would do. I really like this little Essence one because I like to have a thicker cream concealer to put on blemishes, not for under the eye. Just because under the eye I want something really light. The skin is delicate and I want something that's going to blend out really well. There's a big woolly floating around. So what I would do is take the color that's closest to my skin tone, unless it's a very red blemish, and then you would use a color corrector to correct that. But all I'm going to do is put a little tiny bit on, and I'm going to use a brush because I want it to be really precise and just in that area. It's a little accent brush from Real Techniques, and the color, this here color, the darker one, seems to be a better match for me. So I'm just going to take a little tiny bit on the tip of that brush and then dot it on, or right there. And then all I'm doing is blending out around it, so it's not like just a dot. I'm not going to bother with these guys, because once I have a little bit of contour, blush, highlight, all those sort of things, it's not going to be as visible, so I don't want to cake on too much concealer. So once I have my concealing done of blemishes, normally what I would do is go ahead and do my eye makeup. And the reason why I would do my eye makeup before I do anything else on my face is a lot of times you'll get fallout or, you know, sprinkles of the eyeshadow coming down as you're patting it on, and loose particles come down and land on your cheek. And you don't want to have everything done and then you have to go over and do it again or fix it up and that sort of thing. For, again, the purposes of this video, I'm going to skip the eye makeup. I'm just doing a light eye makeup today anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the under eye concealer and the rest of the face. So to brighten underneath the eye, I'm going to use the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. And this is in the color NC20. So it's one shade lighter than my foundation. I thought about getting it in a warm tone to have more of that pink under the eye to brighten, but I decided to stick with the cool tones, the more yellowish undertones, because that's my skin tone, and then I'm going to go in afterwards with more of a salmon pinky color to brighten. And I'm going to take this pointed foundation brush from Real Techniques, and I'm just going to go in and pat that in underneath the eye. And this works as a great foundation or eyeshadow base as well, which is why I'm carrying it up over the eye. And this has technology in it so that it doesn't crease, which is great. So yeah, once I get the product pretty much on there, I'm going to take my beauty blender, or my Quo beauty sponge, whatever, and it's dampened with warm water, and I'm just going to pat that in and up towards the temple. If you already have your eye makeup done, that pointed foundation brush is great for getting in there. Once I have that done, then I like to go in with, I said, the pinkish salmony color, and this is a Maybelline Dream Lumi highlighter in Radiant. So a few clicks of that, and you can see how pink it is compared to the concealer. And again, I'm going to blend it out with a beauty blender. Once it's blended out nicely, you want to set your liquid makeup with a powder before you move on to your powder products. Now, if you did want to use a cream blush or a cream highlighter or bronzer or anything like that, now would be a great time to apply that, and then you could just set it with a translucent powder. Just because once you have powder on your face, it's really difficult to go in afterwards with a cream, and it just gets caught up in the powder and it doesn't blend like it's supposed to. But I'm just going to use some powder, blush, and contour and highlight. So I'm going to go ahead and set it. And I'm going to use this Physicians Formula Translucent Mineral Wear Talc Free Powder. And this is what that looks like. And I really, really want to use my little Kabuki, but I forgot to clean it since Steven did my makeup and had blush, cream blush, all over it. Oh my god. Okay, so I can't use that brush. I'll have to clean that. But I will use this other small Kabuki that I have. So I'm just going to swirl around and tap off the excess, and then pat and sweep. Pat around the eye, and then sweep it on. And that's going to provide some great staying power. I always use this Desert Sun Sandstone Mary Kay mineral bronzing powder. And often I'll use this small Real Technique contour brush. Now I do have a different bronzer, and I have another one coming that I'm probably going to start to use, or at least try it out, maybe do a first impressions video or something like that for you guys. But this is what I know, and this is what I'm used to, so this is what I'm using. And I'm just going to start from up here, dot it on, and then blend it. On this Quo face contour brush, I'm actually going to take the same color and take it down my temples. If you have a wider nose, it'd be nice to take a smaller brush like this one and to take the color and drag it down on the insides of your nose and buff it out really well. But I have a very narrow nose, so I don't like to contour the nose. But what you could do is take a little bit of your bronzer and put it underneath the lip. And all it does is cause more of a shadow, making your lip seem more poutier and bigger. It's also nice to contour down around here where you have that natural shadow, and it makes your jawline look more structured. And then just blend it to make sure you don't have any harsh lines. And then for blush, I'm going to use the NYX Pinched Blush. And I'm going to use the Sigma Fibre blush, the F15. Love this for light application of any blush. You can start back here and pat and work your way down as well. Again, if you wanted to have a little more control. I'm so used to doing this now. I kind of know how it applies, and I know how this brush applies, but if you're using a different brush, like a synthetic brush, you probably better have to start with the color back here and then slowly sweep it down, because you don't want to have that big dot on your cheek and then try to blend it out. It's going to be difficult. I'm going to apply a highlight. And that's where the hard Candy Tiki comes in, and I'm going to use the Tapered Highlighter F35. And just sweep it down along the top of that cheekbone. I hope you guys can see that. Very, very light. You can also bring it up underneath the brow. But yeah, apply as little as you want to. It doesn't look like you're putting on very much, but then when you turn a certain way in the light, you're going to see that reflection, which is what you want. You don't want it to be like stark in your face, like silver. Unless you do, then if you do want to go for it, like if that's your thing. So then I most often go in with a setting spray. It does help keep the makeup almost like settle into your pores a bit more and come together. But for long wearing, I think it's the makeup that I'm using that's long wearing, which is making it last so long. I don't know, maybe it is this, but yeah, there's a few other ones I want to try, like Urban Decay or Skin Deep. Yeah, there's a few different setting sprays out there that I would like to try. And if you guys have tried any setting sprays and you have a favorite or know that something works really, really well, leave it in the comments below so I can kind of see which ones are the best and know which ones to try. So
I have just one sparkle here. Okay, another.
So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. I'm going to go ahead and finish my makeup and get on with my day. Thanks again for watching, guys, and please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already.